Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Jason Tucker, and this is WP Blab. It's Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Pacific. I'm here. I've been coding for the last of like 20, 30 minutes, trying to get this thing working just right. A little bit of housekeeping before we start and get all the intros started and all that stuff. I want to let you know that we're actually ditching Fire Talk.
Oh, we are?
Yeah, our last recording that we did last week actually just kind of went in the wood chipper, and we're never going to get it back.
Aww.
So I talked with them. It looks like they're having some issues on their end, and they're having to kind of get those things figured out. But I just wanted to let you know, if you're wondering, hey, where's that recording? Yeah, where is that recording? I don't know. So what we did instead is we're actually using Google Hangout, which is what we use for WP Water Cooler, and it works really well. And I think it's something we might be able to stick around with for a little while. We're actually using the chat that's for all of the gamers that play on YouTube. You can actually use their chat to make this work. So I grabbed a little gamer chat and threw it onto the website, and everybody's watching it and doing all the stuff off the site. So thank you for hanging in there. I really appreciate it. I'm sorry we weren't able to get all this stuff pushed out as quickly as possible, but I'm glad that things are working well. Bridget, how about you? How are you doing?
I'm still recovering from WordCamp LAX.
WordCamp LAX, yeah. That was crazy.
That was crazy. Way too much fun. Way too much.
So Bridget was Bridget. I'm talking as if there's more people in here. So Bridget, you were kind of womaning the booth, if you will.
Yes.
And making sure that the booth is working well, and that things are just working fine. And you don't have to really worry too much about anything, and you're kind of like stuck there, right?
Yeah,
babysitting the booth.
I enjoyed being at the booth for Give, but I was also the social media manager for WordCamp LA. So I was a volunteer and I was a sponsor.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so our whole team, well, 4 of our team were at WordCamp LAX, and Matt spoke, and Jason and Devin helped with the booth. I mean, Jason and I were there the most. That's pretty much our job. It's the marketing thing. So, but Devin was there a lot, which was good because there were a lot of developer-centered questions. That was good for them to talk to a dev. But yeah, it was a little challenging for me because I was a volunteer and it was my job to be there. So
it's that balance, right?
It's a balance. It's tricky. I scheduled a lot of tweets.
And we actually talked about that, about how you would go about scheduling those tweets and stuff. We did that in our previous episode, which we'll have to record again.
Well, either way, I mean, the social media person, so I did it for LA last year, and then I did it for San Diego this year, and then I did it for LA. So it's pretty much a 5-month commitment. So you're not an organizer, but you're not a 2-day volunteer either. So I helped the team though, during the time, with all the announcements and things like that. And it's not that, I mean, it's an amount of time. It's a long time. But also I can't be the person who's like taking pictures all over the place. So it was good that there were a lot of other people that were doing that, because I could get the infrastructure going. I had everything going for the, if you saw featured images for the speakers, that was my Canva magic.
Nice.
And I did a lot of those things. Jen Miller did the blogging, some of the blogging. Thomas Levy did speaker interviews, that kind of stuff. So there's some background things that you do. There's a lot to do to get ready, And so during the day, I was fine to just monitor a little bit on my phone. I don't know. Last year I had my laptop, but it just was such a pain to carry around. But I feel like if I look down at my laptop really quick, my eyes aren't as much as my head going like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think next year I'll probably have my laptop if I volunteer again to do that. Because I didn't want to be rude, but I also needed to monitor too. So like when I was done with the conversation, I'd go, okay, quick, let's look at the hashtag. But when you're at your phone, your body language is more like this.
Right.
But when you're at a laptop, you just have to tilt your eyes down a little bit,
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I think that was kind of a newbie mistake, but like nobody was mad at me or anything. I'm self-conscious of that. I don't want people to me, being at the booth, it's important that people see that you're friendly and accessible. That's why you're there, community and stuff. So, but it was good because Jason and Devin were really available and really good at reaching out, talking to people. And Matt was kind of like the man on the street. That was kind of our approach. So it was good because there's people at the table. Then you had the man on the street, and of course they had their shirts on, so everybody knew who they're with. It was interesting. This year GoDaddy didn't have a booth, and they did that whole man on the street approach, which I thought was kind of good because you're out among the people and you have more opportunities to talk to them instead of like an awkward booth buy. I thought it was an interesting.
Yeah.
Well, like you feel like if you want to get the swag, you have to, like, people came out to us and go, okay, what conversation do we have to get into so I can get a glass? I go, nothing, just take it. Oh, really? I don't need to give you your, you know what I mean? Like, just, no, it's fine, just have it. Then they would come back and they were so blown away, then they wanted to talk to you. Because they thought, okay, well, I really like that swag, but I don't want to get in this conversation right now.
That sucks. That sucks that you have to have that type of like internal thinking. Should I do this? Should I?
Right. So that's why we were like, no, you don't have to talk to us. Just have it. And then they were like, really? Like, what's the catch?
Really?
Nice glass, buddy.
I know. It's my first one.
Oh, yay. So anyway, it's tricky. It's a little tricky.
Yeah, I kind of did. I did something a little similar in that I kind of isolated myself. I was doing my own little thing. I was recording some stuff for another show on WP Water Cooler's little network I got going on here called Hallway Track.
Mm-hmm.
So I was recording video of stuff that was going on, talking with people. I was taking photos of a whole bunch of speakers. I don't know. I'm kind of one of those instant gratification photographers, which is the polar opposite of every other photographer, which probably means that every other photographer is like rolling their eyes at me for like, really, dude, like you're posting 2 seconds after you just took that picture. And I edited it. It's not like I didn't edit the photo or anything, but people were just like, wow, you took my photo and you already posted it. That's so cool.
Well, because a lot of people spend a lot of time processing.
Right.
But if it's on your phone and it's a tweet, it doesn't need to be 10 megabytes.
Nope.
This is just proof of life.
Yep.
To me, I call those proof of life posts.
Yeah. No, I didn't see anything wrong with it. It just felt, it's just weird because, you have Carrie Lee who's running around with like this ridiculous ensemble of cameras around her, and she's taking pictures like crazy. And then she even spoke, so that was cool. But she was running around taking pictures, and then she's just like, these are going to have to live until I get home, and then I will edit them. And then at my leisure, I will post them.
Yeah, she's
which is great because I mean she's gonna get a good set of photos. Me, I just took whatever wasn't blurry and then I posted them.
That's like WordPress TV, right? So it's good to have the live things, but then it's good to have the quality archived version. So she's doing a WordPress TV sort of a thing.
Right. Mm-hmm. In the chat, is asking who took pictures while she spoke. So there was actually other photographers that were there that were taking pictures, just like Bridget was saying earlier. They're running around taking photos, doing some fun stuff. And, it's just, it's good to have somebody that's going to, that is going to take at least one photo of you. And so, yeah. So that's like another thing, beyond an attendee, which is being somebody who's going to take some photos. So if you're just like the amateur photographer like I am, go take some photos. Take some photos and post them online. Tell people that you took the photos. Yeah. Make sure you use the correct hashtag, all that sort of stuff. But it's fun. It's fun for people to see. They want to be able to go home and say, Hey, look, here's the thing I actually did, and here's a
Yeah.
photo of me doing it.
Yeah, Priscilla took some pictures too. That was really good. Yeah, it's funny because you can see it from a different perspective that way. And
Right.
you know, I started going to WordCamps obviously as an attendee, and this is the first time I only went to one class. It's the least amount of classes I ever went to. I went to Jacob Ariela's class on Flexbox.
Which is awesome. I'm
It
glad
was
to hear that
awesome.
you went to that.
Well, he said it's just like that game. I go, well, I don't know. Like, I just wanted to support the homeboy from OC.
Right.
But it was, so that was a different thing. So he came over to me, Jen, and Elizabeth. He goes, I want to get a selfie with the women who WP. So he took a
Nice.
selfie before he started speaking, but it was his talk was just like Flexbox Froggy. I'm like, hey, I wasn't totally lost. This is awesome. So you know, I feel like probably it's different for me because it's different for me now. It's not different for me against you guys.
Right.
But before, it was just a fun thing to do with my girlfriends.
Ah.
Now this is my job.
Right.
So
well, a lot of those people,
no,
it's their job
fine,
to go. But now it's like you're. I don't want to say this the wrong way, but it's like they're attending and they're able to interact with people.
Yeah.
You're there literally to be furniture and interact with the people. You know what I mean? Like, you cannot move and you got to interact with people. Like, that's all you get to do is that.
Yeah.
You know,
well,
you can then schedule out going out to the one talk.
Well, we had a kind of a huddle, I think. And I was thinking about this too. Because I wasn't in the classes, I wasn't tweeting. And as we know, tweeting is my superpower. Like, you know, Clark Kent had his genes.
Right.
Peter Parker got bit by a spider. I tweet. So I think next time we sponsor, I'll try to go to one class in the morning, one class in the afternoon each day, just so that we have a presence. However, that being said, and I was telling this to the guys, all of that tweeting, you know, and the last time we sponsored was in San Diego, so it's been 6 months.
Right.
A camp where we were all at. We went to Orange County, but all that tweeting pays off when they come to your booth and they say, I've seen you on Twitter. I wanted to meet you in person and take a picture with you. So there's that too, right? It was weird. I was telling Devin, I said, people wanted to take pictures of us. That's so weird. But I realized it was because we put in all this time interacting with them online, on Facebook, on Twitter, at other WordCamps, and all these things. And so now, like, to me, human interaction, face-to-face human interaction trumps online any day, anytime, any place. End of story.
Totally.
End of story. And I was so you know what? I was sad. This is funny. I met so many amazing people, Jason. I really wish they didn't live in Montreal and Ann Arbor and Corona. I'm just saying, like, it's just I've been thinking about this because I'm thinking about my own blog. Ever since I took Scott Buscemi's class at Orange County on blogging workshop, I made a promise that I would blog every Saturday morning, publish being the key word, publish every Saturday morning at 9:15 on BridgetWiller.com. And I haven't written it yet, but I was thinking about Alone Together. Like, a lot of us, like before in my job, I worked in a job with people, but I was isolated just because of my situation. But because I learned to interact with people online, I learned how to be alone together. And so being a remote worker, there was no real transition for me as far as like feeling lonely or anything, because I was used to having those interactions. But when they pay off and you have these amazing conversations with people, you're just like, oh man, I don't want to go home. I don't want to go home. And I don't want you to go home. So
I know it's tough. It's tough. And that's where, like, I will see these people once a year. I'll see these people 4 times a year. I'll see these people once a week, once a month, whatever. And so it's like, you know, you're essentially playing catch up the second you see them. And if you're somebody who's social enough that you actually follow them on Twitter and on Facebook and on Instagram and on whatever, you'll see them and you'll have something to say when you see them.
Yeah.
You're going to say, hey, how was that trip to wherever?
Yeah.
How was that skydiving adventure that you took? How is that whatever? And so you get to have that conversation, which I think is just really cool. And I think it's neat.
It continues like old friends you haven't seen, and it just continues like that. You know, it's like no time has passed. You know what I mean?
I forgot that I turned on the bot in the chat room.
Okay.
It's all scolding you. It's scolding you. That's awesome.
Oh,
so come on.
Yes.
Spamming.
Oh my God.
I love it. That's awesome. Oh my goodness.
But it was funny because now I don't. Here's the one thing about work at the sponsor booth. All of the days mixed together, and having the speaker sponsor dinner and the after party at the same place made it mixed together even worse.
Right. Right.
I can't remember who I talked to when. But it was interesting because when Sunday, which is traditionally light, wasn't super light as much as people just weren't moving around as much. Kind of like Sunday at San Diego, because they're in the business track and they're staying in the business track. You know, so there wasn't a bunch of traffic. So I didn't see that as a downside. It just made it different. It just made it a different experience. So people came up and we got into these really great conversations, really long conversations, deeper conversations. And I find that if you ask people questions, they like to talk about themselves. And
totally. Why not?
I mean, you know, so I'll say, well, what was your talk on? Oh, it's on unit testing. Oh, really? Why is that important? And then I get my own personal WordCamp talk, you know, and which turned into fractured caching, which turned into Chernobyl, which turned into why women don't apply for jobs. I had my own personal WordCamp track just talking to Dave Jesh and Benjamin Cool and Sean Hooper on Sunday. So it's not, I don't feel like I was deprived from the traditional WordCamp experience. It was just a different way of experiencing WordCamp. And I don't think that it was a bad thing. I mean, obviously interacting with our customers is amazing, right? But it was so cool because so many people knew us from Blab. I mean, this sounds like so self-centered. But for me, last year when I went to Orange County a couple months ago, my favorite part was when somebody handed me my name tag because they knew me.
Right. And they was like, here's your name tag. You're like, what?
Oh, you know me. This is so cool. I don't know. Like, it just, and because I'm introspective and because I'm in marketing, because I believe in community, because I had a psych minor, I think about these things. And I think about, okay, Bridget, how do you feel? Now, how can you make somebody else feel the same way? So, like when you were talking to Ross, I said, hey, Ross. He goes, you remember my name? I go, of course I remember your name. I saw you at the picnic last weekend. He goes, yeah, but, you know, and I'm not trying to call him out, but it's just funny because we have these interactions with people and we forget that they're important, you know?
Well, you and I have these interactions with people where we're talking, they're seeing our bedroom or our living room.
I know, I tried to crop out my laundry, like, don't look over there.
Yeah, I got stuff going on over there too. But you know, my you know, they watch us, they see us, and they interact with us more than they would interact with a developer or a designer or an illustrator or a writer or a blogger or any of the other people that are at these WordCamps, because they get more than just a product out of us. You know, they're getting more than just an invoice from us. Like there's a different type of relationship that's happening between us and our end users, you know.
Our end users. Yeah, it was
You know what I
funny
mean?
because the WP Crowd sponsored a table.
Yeah,
And,
which I think is cool.
It was awesome with the Carl board. Like, I was so excited to get a selfie with the Carl board, I forgot to get a selfie with the real Carl. Who is presenting at AWP right now as we speak. If this is boring to you, go over to AWP's Facebook group and you can watch that.
Don't you dare. Don't you dare.
Talking about PHP arrays or something. Anyway.
Right.
Who knows what he's talking about. But anyway, so there was some talk at our booth, like, what is their business model? Like, why? I'm like, it's not a business model. They're just having fun. You got 30 people. How much money do 30 people have to contribute in order to sponsor a booth? $20? You're there. And they can have fun and interact with everybody. And they go, no, really, I'm going to go talk to them. What are they selling? They're not selling anything. The WP Crowd is selling what Adam Silver's selling. Right. Community.
Souls. Oh, I mean, yes, community.
And that's what we're doing. There's no donate. Actually, they do have a give donate button, but there's no business model, right? They're just providing content.
They're all gainfully employed in one way or another. They're all making their own money. They're all doing their own thing. They don't. Yeah, it's just like how WP Water Cooler is. It's the exact same type of setup. Those folks are together because they like to be together, and they enjoy one's company, and they like to blog, and they like to share, and they like to interact. That's it. Their business model. Give away stuff for free.
Yep.
We got stuff. You want it? We'll give it away for free. I love it. I if I had more time in my day and my schedule in my life, I would be part of the WP Crowd.
Yeah. I mean, Cheryl's saying in the chat that she loves the idea of a booth just to interact with people, and I agree. I mean, you know, they have happiness bars, and that's a way to get actual help.
Yep.
But it's funny because it's the ridiculousness of a cutout Carl was just an organic joke. And so, you know, like somebody had said, oh, I wish that he could be here. And they just spent $100 or whatever it was and made it.
Right.
But then people were like, this is so hilarious. Right. So hashtag Carl Board was born, just like hashtag Hi Roy. And our community is really into inside jokes.
Oh,
like
big time.
Bridgeable. So like if you can get, I mean, you know, like that's the tech world, the inside joke. So their business model is they're having fun and they want you to have fun and enjoy each other's company and talk about PHP arrays and the WP CLI and whatever else they're talking about that was all. Yeah. Jonathan's right. It was Ottawa. Carl was in Spain. He couldn't go to the WordCamp. So they sent it to Ottawa. They made it for Ottawa. But then they keep sending it around the country.
So it's like a flat Stanley, but it's
like a flat Stanley, but it's the Carl board. So he's currently trying to find somebody within distance of Philadelphia to send it to WordCamp US. Because it has to be somebody that could drive it, right?
It's an adult flat Stanley. That's awesome.
It's so funny.
Oh my gosh.
It's like that Wapoo. There's a web host
that has the big suit.
England with the suit. Yeah. And everybody wants to take a selfie with it because it's so fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's really kind of the moral to the story, isn't it? Like you should be having fun and you should be learning. And if you're not having fun at a WordCamp, no matter what your role is, you're doing it wrong.
Definitely.
Yep.
Definitely. I'm trying to think here. What else is there beyond a attendee? So I had the opportunity to see some folks that showed up, stayed for about 20 minutes, and then left.
What? Really?
Yeah, like they showed up and they're like, you know what? I'm here for one thing and one thing only. I'm gonna walk in here. I'm gonna interact with somebody real quick, and then I'm out. And the reason why is because these people, especially when it's like big time, business type things or anything like that, they know that the only way to get those people to their side of the coast, to their side of the country, their city, their town, their whatever, is the word camp. And they'll use those word camps as a way of interacting with the people that they need to interact with, especially when they got something else going on. And the only way that they can interact with that person is just to show up and do it. So I saw quite a few people where they were there for an hour or two and they're like, I got other stuff to do, but I was really glad I was able to see this one or two talks.
Wow.
Have my lunch for me. See you later.
Wow.
But that's what they have to do because they're, they are important folks that need to be in other places. Could be a parent, could be a whatever.
Yeah.
Yet they show up because they know that the people are going to be there and they want to say hi to all the people, and then they bounce, which I totally respect that. I think that if that's what they got to do, that's what they got to do.
It's a long weekend, dude. I mean,
Yeah.
So I made a mistake of declining. Well, I didn't have my sitter infrastructure yet for my dogs.
Okay. I
mean, last year it wasn't a problem, but now I'm a
Right.
single mom. So I've got my girl. I got her booked up for Cincinnati next month, and we're Camp US.
Nice.
Woo! I bought my ticket today. I can't believe it. Crazy.
That is crazy.
It is crazy, actually. It is crazy. But the guy said we're going, so we're going. Because Devin said, "Oh, your anniversary is the 1st of December. Should we throw you a party?" I go, "Yeah, let's go to Work Camp US." He goes, "You want to go?" I go, "Nope, but we should." He was like, "What?" Just think about that for a while.
But think of all of the cheesesteak.
I like cheesesteak, so I'm looking forward to that.
If there's one thing I'm going to do at word camp is I'm going to go eat the cheesesteak, and then I may just go home.
Yeah. Well, there's people I want to meet now.
Oh, totally.
And,
there's totally people.
I mean, there's probably at least 20 people I want a selfie with. So, anyway. So because I was a volunteer, I needed to be there at 7.
Yep.
I was at the dinner the night before. And even though it's only 65 miles away.
Wait, did you drive back and forth every single time?
I go back and forth. Oh. I got 4 hours of sleep on Friday night, and I got 4 hours of sleep on Saturday night.
That is crazy.
And because they're a full-time camp, they don't start at noon or anything. I got home on Sunday at like 6:30. I'm like, the dogs are so happy to see me, and that's why I said that skin on the bottom of my feet, and I was wearing Naturalizer old lady shoes, right? Like I was not wearing Payless shoes.
Right.
The skin on the bottom of my feet still hurts from standing. Because I don't want to sit at the booth. I want to stand. I want to talk to people.
Right.
Saturday, I walked 4 miles.
Yeah, we were comparing notes on this.
One of those miles is through Skid Row.
Indeed, it was.
But anyway, I think that if you can, you should stay as close to the venue as possible because, I don't drink, but I still wanted to go to the after party because you still have these conversations, and,
right.
and you learn so much. And this kid walked up to me, and I'm not trying to make this sound self-centered, but I just think that it's important because we forget that, of course, it's a business decision to sponsor. It's a crap ton of money. You have to feel like there's an ROI to it or whatever. Like, of course you want to give back to the community, but of course you want them to remember you, blah, 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 whatever, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So I got to this, I'm one of these people that's like, I'm learning to ask questions and be curious, and because I don't want to be nosy, but like, I just want to keep the conversation going, So I was talking to this guy, blah, 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 whatever, about GIVE, and it transitioned into music and music videos and cinematic music. And Beyonce's Lemonade, which I never saw, which is supposedly visual albums and da 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 da, right? Okay. You know how these rabbit hole conversations go.
Oh yeah.
So at the after party, he brought his girlfriend up. He said, I really wanted you to meet my girlfriend. I want her to meet you. I go, oh, it's nice to meet you, whatever, right? I was just like, but what, like, why? I don't get this, right? We're just an online donation form. Well, I mean, we're more than a form. We're more than a button. We're a donor management system, blah, 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 right?
You guys are robust. Come on.
We're robust. But, like, why did you want to meet me? Like, I'm curious. Why? I don't understand this. And he said, you know, I was really impressed. I said, what do you mean? He goes, well, I just came to talk to you about your plugin, and you had turned it into a conversation about culture and art and music, and you spent like 15 minutes with me, and I felt important. And I was like, well, isn't that what everybody does? Like,
you would hope.
I don't know. I'm just like, this is my only second booth in my entire life.
Sure.
I'm not a salesperson. So I'm like, well, I'll just keep asking you questions until you stop talking and say, listen, lady, I gotta go.
Well, is it the point for you to, you know, if we were talking straight ROI, straight money making, and that's it, your goal is to sit there and talk as much as possible until the next person walks up behind him, and then you go, hey, thanks for having that great conversation with us. Here's my business card. Make sure you go to our website because we make the most robust Give plugin ever. See you later. Bye. Next one.
I didn't do that. That's rude.
No, but what I'm saying is,
oh, is that what people do?
Kinda. They're just like, you know, they make it awkward enough that you're like, oh, okay, well, I'm gonna go check out the next thing now, and they're like, okay, see you later, and then so and so, blah 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 blah, or they notice the other person, they have them come up, and they start talking, so there's a three-way conversation, and then they're hoping that you kind of go like, I mean, everyone wants to have a conversation, but they also just kind of want to, you know, move on to the next one. So it's like, it's interesting. I mean, working a booth is not fun, and sometimes
when to end it without being rude. I think it's well, I'm really good at body language, or at least I think I am. So, and there were three of us most of the time, either me, Jason, and Devin, or me, Jason, and Matt. So we had it covered. You know, we had it.
Well, their BS meter wasn't going off when they were talking with you. That's what was happening, is they were just like, wow, she's having an actual conversation with me. She's a human. Who would have thought? I don't have to push 1 for this and 2 for that.
Hashtag community.
Right.
So I enjoyed it. It was just funny because I was talking to Jen Miller, and I go, it was so weird. I only went to one class, but I learned so much. You know?
Yeah.
So I think that if you just approach it as, look, we're here to have fun. We're here to talk about WordPress and all of its tangential friends like JavaScript and jQuery or whatever else.
Yep.
But also, we're here to connect with human beings. And the more that and that's why it's worth it to go to the after party and go to dinner with people and do all those things, because oh my gosh, I was at this dinner with one of the sponsors, and I was like, I'm not sure why I got invited, but that's cool.
Same here.
Oh, were you there?
I was there too.
Such a big room, I couldn't tell. And I was waiting for my guys. I was sitting at this table by myself, but then the Inland Empire Meetup group came and sat with me. I was like, that's cool. I love these people. So then, did you hear us singing?
Yes, I did.
so then I ended up talking to this guy named Jeremy, and I just kept asking him questions. And you know, it's really interesting. There are a lot of musicians in WordPress.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I think because coding is the same side of the brain. So I got into this whole conversation with almost everybody at our table actually was a musician or had musical skill. Yeah. So anyway, so we ended up talking about, well, what about this person's voice? Or what about this song? What about this song? And so we ended up doing what I called a cappella karaoke.
And then C. Reed got really loud.
Yeah. So it was fun. I had a blast. Like, I just felt like oh, this could be fun. It doesn't have to be awkward and, you know, weird. It could, you know, I could just be myself and people like me. You know, because I'm always like trying to be, oh, nobody's going to want you to sing in a restaurant. You're going to get us kicked out. But then nobody said anything. So we just kept going. We were having fun. Everybody else was still having fun. And I mean, that's what I mean. It's those, if you're open to the serendipitous moments of connection, you're going to connect with somebody and it's going to be deep. And then you're just like, well, do you have to go home? Why can't you live here? Or why can't you be my friend? You know, it was really, I really loved it. I really loved it. It was amazing. It was worth not sleeping. I'm just really tired. I didn't feel like I lost out by being a sponsor at all. I didn't. I would do it all over again. In fact, it's my job to do it all over again. Actually, we're sponsoring Pittsburgh this weekend, and Jason and Devin are going. Devin's speaking, and we're sponsoring Cincinnati, and I'm going, and Devin and Jason's going and sponsoring, and Ben is speaking at Orlando and co-organizing Raleigh, and like, so you could just, I mean, you could just. It's kind of good that we had somebody on the East Coast join our support team, you know, as you know, anyway, so like, just, it makes it easier on the company, I think, if you have more people that will go to different places. There's, you know, because otherwise we only have 3 camps here. There's just 3. And then actually California only has 4. We're the most populous state in the union. And we have 4 word camps. That's it. And 3 are here, and Northern California only has Sacramento. Like, there isn't even one in the Bay Area. Silicon Valley does not have a word camp. Silicon Valley does not have a meetup.
That's
crazy. It is crazy. So to me, I would say, and I liked what Adam Silver said in his closing remarks. You guys, I want you to sell you on the community. If you're not in a meetup, join a meetup. And a lot of people came up to us and were like, and of course, I started talking about women who WP. Like, I just have so much. There's so much intersection with Bridget and WordPress now that I'm not just talking about Give at the booths, right? I'm talking about Blab, I'm talking about everything I'm involved in. But people were like, "Oh, there's a WordPress meetup in LA? Yeah, there's a few. Where do you live?" Right? So I'm tweeting out links. They're like, "I didn't know." I mean, really, go on meetup.com, find one, and I know this isn't supposed to be about meetups, but seriously, go to make.wordpress.org/community. They will help you if you want to start a meetup. Really, you should. Yeah. I mean, it's so important because, you know, even when I went to Developer Day on Monday with you after that ridiculous weekend, I still went to. When I walked in, and it was like, Norm! You know, I was like, at first I was really worried that, and I told you, I'm like, oh, those guys are going to say you don't belong here. But it wasn't like that at all. I did not feel uncomfortable at all. I felt totally welcome. And that's what's special about the WordPress community. And, you know, we have regular meetups. We don't have regular WordCamps.
Yeah.
You know, so I really feel like you need both of them to intertwine, you know, so.
Let's see here. What else? So we talked a little bit about being a sponsor. We've talked somewhat about being a speaker.
Volunteer?
Yeah, how about a volunteer? So like I have volunteered in the past by being the camera guy for Orange County's WordCamp. And so I was the guy who was essentially the SD card wrangler. I was the one that would run around and make sure that I'm getting the SD cards from everybody. I was the one that was uploading videos to to WordPress TV as fast as possible as the thing was being recorded, because I wanted all these done. Like, I was like, I don't have time to go home and sit here and edit all the ums and ahs out of somebody's speech. So I'm just going to go and take this thing and just upload it as fast as possible.
Yeah.
I actually had Chris Lima's talk uploaded about 15 minutes after Chris Lima even spoke.
Was that the one about you're not the hero of your own blog? That was a great one.
I don't know when that was. That was 2 years ago. So whatever 2 years ago it was. But yeah, I took that thing and uploaded it, and then everybody else was like, what the heck? How'd you get it uploaded so fast? So I learned to find the things that other people don't want to do that you don't mind doing, and do that. So, you know, like my wife, she's worked at the booth that hands out T-shirts.
Yeah.
And hands out name tags. And she was perfect because just like how you were saying, people recognized you.
Yes.
Well, my wife would stand there and just go like, Brandon Dove, here's your thing. Oh, Jeffrey Zinn, here's your thing. Oh, Steve Zinga, here's your thing. Oh, Bridget, here's your thing. And she just hand them out, and the people around them are like, it's like they've never even installed WordPress before. They're all just like, what?
It makes a huge difference.
Yeah, it's like concierge type stuff, you know? It's just like, here's the thing. And so she's gone to all of the social events. She's been to all of the stuff.
Yeah.
So she just walks around and just starts handing out T-shirts and handing out tags. And she even got in the line and started walking down handing out stuff. So it's one of those things where it's like, I can just quickly get this stuff done if you know the people. And she knew the people, so she started doing it. So if that's something that you're interested in doing, most WordCamps would love to have somebody who's super knowledgeable about the community be the one that hands the stuff out, because no one wants to sit there and be like, what's your name? J-A-S. You know, you're like spelling your name out to the person, and it's just like they're trying to figure it out. They don't have to do any of that. They just do it. And how cool is that? So doing that, also doing video stuff, that was a lot of fun. If you have even like an inkling of an understanding of how to get video to work, every WordCamp needs a video person.
Isn't WordPress TV always asking for volunteers just in general, too?
Yep.
Do you have to go to the WordCamp to be a WordPress.tv volunteer?
No, they'll definitely take people that are interested in watching videos, looking for non-GPL compliant type videos, people that are just sales pitching the entire time, whole bunch of stuff. There's just like a bunch of like lists of things that you can kind of go through and figure out what's what. But yeah, you know, see, look, there's somebody in the chat that totally does WordPress TV.
Manuel Costa.
Yeah.
Ready?
So that's the cool stuff, is trying to find those types of folks to come on and, you know, take on that burden, take on that thing that that not a whole lot of people are good at. And that's where I was like, well, I'm mediocre at best at, you know, doing this stuff. Let's see if I can do it. Maybe I can skill up a little bit. And so,
but there's a parking lot situation too.
Parking lot at WordCamp LA, there was a thing where if you showed up late, they had printouts, and people were being like good Samaritans and handing out printouts of the parking pass to stick inside your car.
Yeah.
You know, those poor people didn't get to see that talk that they stood outside and watched cars drive in and stuff. So those are the types of people that those WordCamps are looking for. And if you're interested in doing that, by all means, you should totally do that sort of stuff. And what's cool about that, and this is kind of a little secret, most of the WordCamps give you a pass to get in for free. So if they're sold out, or if they're having whatever, ask, hey, is there any way I can help you guys out in any way? And that would be the next, you know, kind of step of how do I get into this and how do I get involved?
Also, organizing.
Yeah, I guess you can do that too. Yeah, no, organizing, totally. You know, we were talking, well, even on the show, we were talking about this. Is like, you know, you live in a small town and you are trying to figure out what to do. How do I get involved with the community? I don't know if there's community here, well, you know, all of that stuff. You know, like Ross and I, he lives here in Whittier. We were talking about maybe starting a WordPress meetup in Whittier.
Yeah.
And just be like, hey, you know, this is the landlocked city of California. You got to drive 7 miles in all directions to be, you know, to be here. Come check it out. So those types of things. Just like, is there community here, and can we build community? And that's kind of the way to start out with it. Also, you'll learn about a ton of people by being a volunteer at any of this stuff, because you'll be able to see, and volunteers are also those organizers as well, because none of those people are getting paid. They're all just doing it for free for whatever reason. And so it's like, they want to get involved in this. How do you do it? That's how you do it.
Also, being an organizer, Adam Silver was talking about this at the closing remarks, that 4 years ago he was just attending. Last year he was on the organizing committee with Nathan Tyler, Alex Vasquez, Natalie McLeese, Greg Douglas, and they had termed out or maxed out or burnt out or they're done out, whatever. I mean, there's no judgment. It's just so they're looking for somebody else to pick it up. And he was like, yeah, I'll do it. And so he raised up a whole new batch of people, Scott Buscemi and Jamie Curry and Stephen Harvey, who was a volunteer last year. Stephen Harvey was a volunteer last year. This year he's an organizer, right? So
cool.
It is cool, because especially if you have skill, because the organizers delegate the tasks according to your skill set, right? So if you're good at getting clients, then you're probably good at getting sponsors. So that's a good place for you. Yeah. If you're good at getting speakers, booking people, if you know a lot of people, that might be good for you. You need somebody to design and maintain the website. You need somebody to wrangle the volunteers. So you need to be a people person who has a good mind for logistics. These kinds of things. Right. So every part of the organizing team gets delegated out. So maybe you think that you don't have that much value to give, but if you can do it and you're willing to commit to that 5 month, however long, and the 2 weeks of hell before it, then you should do it, because you're not going to do it every year. You're going to do it 1 or 2 years, and this is what makes the WordPress community so amazing, And I noticed last year when I was doing the social media for LA last year, I was spending time, obviously, making Twitter lists of the speakers, and I took pictures of the speakers and I interacted with them, and I felt like I connected more with the whole community instead of just hanging out with my girlfriends.
Yep.
Because I was in a position where I was supposed to, right? So I'm more shy. So if you're good at social media, you could maybe tell the organizer, hey, if you need somebody, I would totally do this for you, right? Because you do feel like, I do feel like that's easier for me than walking up to somebody and saying, hi, my name is Bridget, right? But there's a lot of ways to volunteer. And then don't forget, the speakers are also volunteers. Nobody's paying those people to spend weeks on their talk and months on their slides.
It's tough, and there's people that literally hit start writing their speeches and their talks and stuff 20 minutes before they hop on stage, and it's all over the map. People do what they got to do, whatever it is they got to do to be able to get their thing done. They do it.
Well, some people are used to speaking, so it's not that big of a deal. Like, to me, I sort of wish I didn't have to do slides. It's just my story anyway. I could tell it in 30 minutes without practicing. I'm used to speaking in front of people. That's no problem. What I had to practice, I need to write it out so I could figure out what should be a slide and where it belongs, right? So because I'm not practiced with slides, then I need to practice. And it's not that I need to practice speaking as much as I need to practice with the slides. And then, poor Jacob, I don't know, the thing was all janky. So he's doing this live thing. He's like doing the flex box position, and then we watch it happen. Like half was code and half was the actual rendering. I don't know how you say it.
Rendering.
Okay.
You got it.
So so it kept like getting fuzzy and breaking out. That guy was not like, that's it, I'm critical, stomp off the stage, you know. That a lot of people could have been super frustrated with that and just been like, you know what, this isn't going to work. Let me just explain this to you. And, you know, so I think that being prepared helps you for when things are going to fail. It doesn't matter. You could be the nerdiest of nerds and you don't know what technology is going to be in that room.
Yeah.
So
I have no idea. And that's where a lot of the times they'll send out these emails saying like, hey, make sure you have this type of thing or that type of thing. Do you have the plug for this? Do you have a VGA cord? Do you have a HDMI cord? Do you have a whatever? Are they doing it in 4:3? Are they doing it in 16:9? Is it a projector? Is it a TV? Is the room going to be lit or not lit? I mean, there's all of these parameters.
Is it a lapel mic? Is it an ear mic? Is it this mic? Do I need to hold it? Should I not hold it? Is it unidirectional, omnidirectional? Like, those are things I care about. Like,
those are things that I've written about. I've actually written about those things. And I'm just like, here's how to hold a microphone.
Jen Miller might be mad at me, but when she was asking me what she should wear, she goes, well, I got this really cute necklace from Italy. Should I wear it? I go, not if there's a lapel mic.
Smack, 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 smack the whole time.
Right? And she goes, oh. I never thought about it.
Here's my posting on what I call mic control and how to deal with how to deal with using a microphone.
So I'll definitely read that. But yeah, so the speakers applying to speak, and the thing is, this is what I want to say to people applying to speak. I don't have inside knowledge, but I've been around enough and heard enough and read enough because I spent a lot of time on Twitter. So I know how you feel when you got not selected. I'm going to say this. You didn't get rejected. Your talk didn't get rejected. It just didn't fit the camp that they were planning.
Yep.
It has nothing to do with you. Apply again at the next camp. Love, Bridget.
Totally.
Every camp is different. They're all super different. Like, I'm kind of bummed I'm not going to Phoenix. It looks like the whole camp is classes for me, but I just can't go to every camp. You know, I just can't. I'm already like, you know what I mean? But so I would say just because you apply and you don't get accepted doesn't mean that your talk got rejected or that you got blacklisted or that somebody doesn't like you. It doesn't work that way. They have an idea of what they want. And even if they didn't say what it is, you can tell by the talks they pick that you can see the pattern that's emerging from that camp.
Yeah.
So, oh, Emmanuel's speaking at Phoenix. Oh man, I wish. See, like, there's so many people going to Phoenix. It's like Phoenix is like Southern California East.
We're working on maybe going to Phoenix. We'll see how it works out.
I just can't do it. I just can't do it. Anyway, so there's speaking. All of it's volunteer. Speaking, sponsoring, attending. Oh, if you attend, can I say something?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, I know it's really easy to criticize events.
Oh, folks, we're about to get real right now.
Once you start making friends with the organizers, you're a little bit more reluctant to criticize how the event went down. There are real people putting this event on for free. Yep. And maybe you didn't like the lemon chicken, and maybe the sizes of the shirts are ridiculously too small. Love you guys. But if you think things need to be changed, then you need to step up to volunteer or organize.
Because a lot of times those people are going to be BS'd the whole way. Oh, you did a wonderful job. You did amazing work. It was awesome. It was, amazing. But no, they never get any constructive criticism, almost at all. And if they are, it's usually like people being mean to them.
You know what I mean? Like I just feel like people forget there's other people on the other side of Twitter.
Yep.
These guys busted their asses 5 months to put on this event that cost you $40. And I totally get the close your wagons and defend each other thing, because now I feel like Mama Bear, like, hey, that's my friend. Like, just hold it now there, buddy. Listen, you know, there are feedback surveys. Actually, I don't remember them telling me the link to send that out. I don't know if we did it. Maybe we didn't. Did we do that, James? I don't know.
I remember one year the survey ended is when the new TLDs came out.
Uh-huh.
And they were it was like we're LA WordCamp.survey /something, and everyone was like, what the heck is that?
.io.
But it was like it'd be like
.blog.
.limo or photography or something. Like you look at it and you're like, where's the rest of the domain name? Because it was like they just came out with it and they thought they were super clever about it. And they were super clever with it, except no one knew what the heck it was.
Right.
It was just like one word, another word, and you're like, .com?
What? Whatever.
Like they broke everybody. No one knew what to do with that thing because there's no HTTP : / at the beginning.
Yeah.
There's no nothing. Not that you need that, but when it's just like word, no one knew what the heck it was. So I imagine they probably do have it.
Just for the record, I love the lemon chicken. I loved it 2 days in a row. It was awesome. The potatoes were great. It was a great lunch. It was a great venue. I loved everything. There's pros and cons to every single thing. I mean, obviously I like air conditioning, but I just adjusted by the skort. Life moves on. So I just feel like I just want to say to my friends who like to tweet, don't tweet out complaints. People are reading it. They have feelings. They work like dogs. Be a real person. Be kind. Rewind.
You paid $20. You paid $20 a day.
I got lunch, so shut up.
And got lunch and got a full setup and a whole bunch of swag. Come on.
Also, how is swag pronounced?
I don't know. I just spell it. I say it wrong. It works out way better.
So many different. Anyway, my point is, like, now that I know some of those people and I've been like a kind of a quasi organizer doing social media, I've been doing social media for WordCamps like 3 times in a row now. So I'm reading these tweets going, come on, guys.
Yep.
Kind.
Yeah.
And if you don't like it, volunteer for the next time. Step up. Like, okay, so I worked at a church, and in the staff meeting, the rule was, if it's your burden, then it's your responsibility.
Right.
You know what that stops? A lot of complainers who don't want to do work. Oh, you think we should have a concert? Are you going to do it? No? Oh, well, then we're not going to have it. Next.
Your idea, your burden. That's awesome.
Your idea, your burden. And you know what? It's true, because it a lot of times people just want to make suggestions, but they don't want to do the work.
Right.
So that's me defending my WordCamp people.
Yep.
Love you.
Swag.
Yeah, is it swag or
swag?
I put it both. Like, swag is an acronym, right? Stop.
Probably. Just don't look in Urban Dictionary, because it'll show you the very wrong versions of it.
Oh yeah, I better not. Yeah, John Locke, who is an organizer for Sacramento, our Northern California version of WordCamp, is saying, put in perspective, WordCamps are by far the least expensive web conference that exists. It's amazing that there's one put on every weekend in some city in the world all year round. And it's true. It's so true, because social media marketing world that happens in San Diego, it's like $1,600, you guys.
Jeez.
That's my rent.
That's crazy.
That's ridiculous, right? And some other places are like 400, 600, and you haven't even gotten there. So
you just blew everybody's mind that you're paid $1,600 for rent. You know
I
that,
know
right?
it's ridiculous. I know it's ridiculous. I was
All of
talking
these
to
East Coasters and all of these like Midwesterners and Bible Belters, they're all their heads just went.
I was talking to a friend from Ann Arbor. Now I can say he's my friend, and he was like, "Our sales tax is 6%." I go, "What? 6%? What kind of sales tax is that? That's crazy!" Like, oh man, I
Oh,
know the ocean. It makes everything expensive,
Yeah, totally. Even
and
though
we
I'm
don't
20,
get snow.
even though
Oh,
I'm
Loop
25 miles away
Conference
from
is $600. Wow,
which is his rent.
that's
Uh,
still spendy.
He probably has an 8-bedroom with like a 4-bath too. Darn it.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. They would be $1,400 to $200 to $2,500. There was another conference my friend goes to that was like $4,000 to go to, and it travels around. I can't remember what it was. But I was like,
Yeah,
okay, so yeah. I
they
mean,
better
I'm
be
in
handing
the
out
ghetto
$4,000 worth
version.
of coupons of something in order for me to go to that. There's just no way.
Yeah, it's just I can't. So I mean, that's the perspective. In fact, when I first heard about WordCamp, and I've said this several times, my girlfriend said, "Oh, I'm going to come out from New Jersey. Come to WordCamp." I go, "What is it?" She goes, "It doesn't matter. It's only $40." I mean, think about it. Okay,
Get lunch. We're having lunch for $40. Come
when
on.
is the last time you went to the movies?
A couple weeks back,
How much did it cost you?
about $40 after it's all said and done.
Yep. Because it's like $10 almost to get in the door, and you're not going to not have popcorn and a drink. That drink that costs them 19 cents is $5. You're spending $20 a day you're spending $20 to go see a 2-hour movie.
Right.
You're spending $20 a day because it's heavily sponsored. You know what I mean? So yeah, the WordPress ecosystem is special, and I had another conversation about that, because my theory was that open source naturally attracts generous people, but apparently there are other open source communities that are not as nice as ours.
Well, that and having community behind it, because it's not just about having a place to show up to and do stuff.
Yeah.
There's more to it than that.
Yeah. And that's the part that it's really hard to quantify. But that's what I was saying. Like when I left and all of a sudden it was quiet, it just felt so sad. It was weird. I mean, not a sad like I'm crying, I feel lonely sad. It was more like wow, I really wish those people lived here. I really wish those people lived here, because they're amazing. You know, I just met so many amazing people. It was crazy.
I'm always having to read the chat.
Yeah, post WordCamp Blues is perfect, James. That's the perfectly, Jamie Curry says, my wife said she had the post WordCamp Blues. That's exactly perfect, because you have such intense conversations and such enjoyable experience that it just feels sad. Like probably like summer camp, right?
Right. It's
like,
exactly like summer
right. See you next summer. We take selfies instead.
We take selfies, exactly.
I'm so glad we still got to have the chat, and Blab moves on regardless of the
It worked out. It worked out. I built my own Blab. Come on. I built my own Blab. I rolled my own. I don't need no Fire Talk. Don't need no Blab.
Oh,
I just need Google. As long as Google doesn't get rid of this thing, then I should be okay.
No, but for real, because Matt wants to do webinars on Fire Talk. You really can't get the recording.
That particular recording is gone forever, lost and gone forever. They told me, they're like, oh, we'll talk to our partner and see what we can do. And you know, the company that they're using, I think it's called like TikTok or TikClock or something like that. They haven't gotten back to them yet. And I was like, you know, this sucks. I'm just gonna.
Bummer.
Yeah, it sucks. I mean, and I'm saying this publicly because of the fact that I get a lot of people that ask me, what should I use for my video stuff? And I'm not joking either. I mean, I had probably 10 people during WordCamp LA come up to me and say, I want to do what you're doing, but I want to do it for this type of situation. What should I use? And I'm like, you know, we're using FireTalk. You should check it out.
Yeah.
That's what we're using right now. And, you know, I'm never married to a technology. I'm happy to just like pull roots and go on to the next thing.
We totally don't need to name the show because I blab anyway, so it doesn't. Blah, 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 blah.
Exactly. Plus, I also found out that for, you know, this is a little bit inside baseball, but that I can actually get a copy of the transcript of the chat when I'm done.
Oh, really?
It's been a huge problem for FireTalk because people leave comments with, like, you know, links to their websites and links to all this stuff. I couldn't copy any of those things because they would disappear the second I was done.
That's annoying.
Yeah, so I'm using the little bot that was bugging you and yelling at you about typing in all caps. That little bot is actually going to send me an email at the end of this thing letting me know, hey, here's all the stuff. So I am not going to complain one bit. Like, he can yell at you all he wants, Bridget. I don't care. I want a transcript.
I'll take one for the team. So what happens when HOAs go away and it's YouTube Live?
We're actually on YouTube Live right now.
Oh, we are?
Yeah, we're not even using we're not even using the Google Hangout stuff at all. This is straight YouTube Live. The chat is actually from the Twitch video gaming stuff that people do on YouTube. You know, when they play like Minecraft and all the Xbox games and all the PlayStation games. It's that. We're using that chat. So it's the exact same chat that everybody else is using.
Oh. Oh.
Yep.
Okay.
And I threw this thing all together in about 18 minutes while Bridget was on the line.
Yep. I was half listening to the AWP, but then, you know, it was distracting. Oh, okay. So we're good. You figured it out.
Yeah, I figured it out. I built everything. We're good to go.
And then it's already on the website. You don't have to do any work.
It's on YouTube.
Later.
It's all good. It's all done. So again, you know, I'm sorry about the inside baseball stuff, but one of the other things that Bridget and I don't talk during the day. Like we have jobs.
Jinx.
We have jobs. So because of that, when we hop on here, that is literally the first time that we're saying words to one another in the entire week. Unless there was a WordPress meetup or something.
Yeah.
But what ends up happening is we get on here and my audio is not working right. Her video's screwed up. My this and that's happening. Dogs are barking in the background. All this stuff's happening, and I've already hit record. So with this, we actually get our 15 minutes to kind of like goof around with this and get it all figured out, make sure our lower thirds are set up correctly and our this is set up correctly. There's no junk in the background of my, you know, apartment here. None of that stuff yet. We still get to record this. So I love Google Hangout. We've been using Google Hangout for 3 years over at WP Water Cooler. Absolutely love it. I hope it never goes away. And if it just turns into YouTube Live, then so be it. I'll be stoked.
So as long as that's just a rebranding, it still seems to work, right? I mean, my lower third appeared.
Yeah, there's a few things that will be disappearing. For one, like the stupid little hats and the noisemakers and everything. Yeah, they're Say's favorite thing, but I'm kind of happy they're going away. So
they served a purpose in history.
Yep, they totally did. Now they can be history. Oh man. So, do you guys have any questions for us? Is there any questions,
Ross
comments?
Is asking right now, are you using a front light source, or is that just from your monitor?
Me or you?
No, he's asking you.
Oh,
Jason.
me. I'm using. You have to have a crafty wife, and I stole her OTT lights. So I have two OTT lights that are pointed at a 45-degree angle. They have that kind of bluish temperature, so it's good for this, you know.
Yeah.
It also makes it so the background's kind of darkish.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's my setup. I do have two monitors in front of me. I have a monitor directly in front of me, and then I have my laptop monitor that's down here. So I'd show you my desk, but it's really messy.
Yeah. Don't ask, don't tell.
Yeah, exactly.
We're almost to our 1 year. October 1st is our 1 year.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I had a totally different job when we started this.
Do I have to get you a present or something?
No.
Okay, good.
I just can't believe it's been that long. Because I thought it was kind of a prank. Like, this is on a WordPress show. I don't know anything. This is fun. It's just so much fun. Like, just
Yeah, well, we try to make sure that we're able to talk about the stuff that we know about, and that we're not kind of, BSing our way through stuff. We actually are knowledgeable about the thing.
yeah.
It's a little difficult with WP on WP Blab versus WP Water Cooler, where WP Water Cooler we get up to 10 people that we can have on there and talk about stuff. I'd imagine at some point here we may have to do a little bit of booking type of things in order to make this happen.
We started sort of doing that anyway.
Yeah.
We
So
drifted
unfortunately,
that.
So unfortunately, we can't really pull people into this, unfortunately. So we don't have that type of functionality. But if we planned ahead or whatever, we can definitely pull you in. If we had like a regular cast and crew of people that would want to be on all the time, I could actually bring you all in and essentially queue you up and then bring you in as we needed to. So there's a lot of stuff in Hangout that I've never done before that I know I can do. I just haven't had the opportunity to do it. So if you guys are interested in being on the show or wanting to get involved or anything like that, there's a mailing list area that you could go over to on WP Water Cooler's site that will kind of give you some more information about the show and what we're going to be doing, whatever. I want to be better about telling you folks what the topic's going to be like. Today, I literally hit up Bridget like 3 hours before we were going to start, and I'm like, hey, so we're recording tonight? Who knew?
It's Thursday!
Exactly. So
I mean, we tried to be ahead, but just you had work things, I had work things. It was just.
Yeah, I have a little mini vacation I'm doing this weekend, so I just needed to get all this stuff done as like fast as possible.
Yeah.
And then to top it off, I got mad at the company that we use for Fire Talk. So I was like, well, I guess I'm just gonna have to come up with my own little thing. So this is what I threw together.
So, but this mailing list, though, do they need to differentiate between Blab and Water Cooler?
No, once you sign up for one, you'll just get all the stuff.
Okay.
And I'll probably end up having a thing on there that's for. There's a thing on there that says if you want to be on the show. That's the one that I'll send out an email to both that says, hey, to this week's topic on WP Water Cooler is this, and this week's topic on WP Blab is this. And that usually goes out on Sunday nights.
Okay.
So you'll have a couple days if you're trying to be on WP Blab to do that. And if you're on WP Water Cooler, you have until that morning to quickly try to get in, and people kill each other to get on Water Cooler. So we end up running out of space ridiculously fast.
Yeah, I'll tweet that out then. Yeah.
And then I have a little bot in here who's supposed to be advertising for me throughout the show, but he hasn't done that yet, so I'm not sure what's up with that.
This show is brought to you by WPMediaPro.com.
Right.
.com.
But it's not pro.
I fire that girl. Where did you find these people? Yeah, but .com is from that little thing is from some other radio.
Yeah.
I get AM Talk Radio.
It's right there. See it right there?
Oh,
right
yeah.
there.
I know, but .com is like a joke. So
right.
.pro. WPmedia.pro. Oh yeah, I forgot. JasonTucker.us. Yeah, it's right there, and it's big, and I can read it.
I'll set the bot down to like 2 minutes, and he'll start going crazy in a minute here. So you'll start seeing him talk. I want to see if it actually works or not. URLs are a no-go.
Well, just don't have the www.http-ness.
Yeah.
Do it without that, and then it works. Only the host can do it, real links.
Oh, apparently, yeah, which is kind of cool. I like that.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean you can't put in a URL? That's not cool.
I did, but I just did it without the HTTP part.
Oh, and I let you do it still. Okay.
So it can't look like a...
let me see. Blacklist. This filter allows you to timeout and whitelist links. Oh, yeah, you should be able to do links. It should work now. Please give it a try. Hey, look, it did work. I built a thing. Yeah. So WP Water Cooler, I did a thing where we were going to, talk with folks that build websites and web development tools and all that fun stuff. I'm still doing it. I just haven't really got it there yet. And that's WP Show and Tell. It's tough. It's tough to pull that off.
Yeah. But that doesn't need a...
Doesn't need a what? It's not a live thing.
It doesn't
no,
need an audience.
No. It's all...
So you can do it whenever you want.
I can do it whenever I want. Yeah.
Yeah,
so
so that's probably easier.
If you guys are interested in that or whatever, go take a look at that. Yeah, I'm looking here and it's weird. I'm so glad that we're like trying to figure this out while we're live and we're recording it, which is...
Yeah, but that's what makes it fun. You guys are having fun, right? Chat people. All of our regulars figured it out. Like, I feel like there was no significant break in the show, right?
Oh, that's crazy. It says it's not letting you do links, huh? The whole thing about this would be that we want to have links.
Well, James put in wporlando.org or space.org. Yeah, just do it like, how you do your email address. bwillard@wordimpress.com.
Just, be a spammer. Just be a spammer. It'll work out.
Oh, it would let me put bwillard@wordimpress.dot.com. It's fun if that was... You know what? Google, nobody likes you anymore. I am now a chat person. My mom would be so proud. Good job, Ross. I love the chat. This makes this song, makes this show fun.
Yep.
Interactive. It's a virtual meetup.
Yep, and all the things happen on YouTube. So whatever you're watching right now is what will actually show up on YouTube live. So we'll have all this stuff. It's showing up live on YouTube right now.
Actually,
but you could actually watch it later if you wanted to.
I did apply to speak at WordCamp US about creating a virtual meetup with video. I had to change it because Blab died. Yeah, fingers crossed.
That's awesome.
We'll see. Because I feel like even me who has, and we were talking about this when we were talking with Jason Lemieux, but Huntington Beach, getting to Huntington Beach is an hour and a half for me. It doesn't matter that it's 25 miles. It's when the 25 miles happen.
Yeah.
I get home in 20 minutes.
Right. It's getting there.
It's getting there. So I'm learning how to drive on streets. Because the freeway is ridiculous. You can go 40 miles on a street. You're not going 40 miles on the 405.
Totally.
Not doing it. Link, google.com link. Oh, that was clever.
Nice.
Oh, yeah, John's doing some research. He says we might consider this for an alternative YouTube Live. Chad is a part of that, too. So this is the chat you said that you use when you play games.
Yep. This is exactly what people use when they're playing games and display it up on their site and stuff.
And so the people that are watching a custom post type.
There's watching. It's a custom post type.
A page on WP Water Cooler.
There's a page on WP Water Cooler with two
the embedded video,
codes. Two embed codes.
The embedded chat.
Yep.
Okay.
And I do this together in about 15 minutes. So if it works, it works. If it doesn't, I'm sorry. It's one of those things where you got to do what you got to do to make it work. So. Wow, Sunday it took him 45 minutes to get back. Yeah.
It did. On Friday night, I met up Jan and we carpooled from Huntington Beach. So as soon as it took me 45 minutes to get to Huntington Beach. Then once I got to her house, we carpooled and we got there at 5:10, and we left at 3:45.
Wow.
And Huntington Beach is not that far away from downtown Los Angeles, folks. At home. I think it's 20 miles.
Jeez.
But it was good because we just parked. We found a great place to park. We found this place called the Pie Hole or the Pie Knot.
Yeah.
It was so good. I had a Mexican chocolate pie. We drank a latte. We got to relax. I mean, it's better to be there early and relax and know where you are than to be all super stressed out. And my work let me leave, so that was a big problem anyway, you know.
Right.
But yeah, when I got home, going home from LA was never a problem. Actually, when I drove there on Saturday and Sunday morning, it was an hour and 15 minutes because it's only 65 miles. I'm leaving at 6 o'clock in the morning or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
6:15, 6:26. I stopped at Starbucks first. But it's that time between 3 and 7 p.m. you do not go to or leave LA.
If you guys are interested in WP Water Cooler, we did a whole recap of this particular show or this particular word camp on that show.
Yep.
So if you want to check that out, I think it should show up with a link on the site on the page right now or something. But there's we did a whole kind of recap with everybody that's from there.
Yeah, with the organizers.
So, all the organizers and stuff. So if you're interested in any of that, what I will say is that we have a playlist on WP Water Cooler that's about the word camps, like all the recaps of all the word camps that we've ever gone to. So let me see here, word camp. I'm trying to find where that one's at. But we've recapped like 51 word camps. And if you want to take a look at those, so if you're wanting to start a word camp and you're like, what do I do? What's involved? What are the other people doing?
Yeah.
That playlist would be the playlist to watch. That just kind of goes through every single word camp that we've ever been involved with, and you can kind of watch and see all that stuff that's in there. Not to be all pitchy or nothing on my own show or anything, but you know,
but it was thorough. We don't need to rehash that. We've got
totally, but it's worth it to take a look at those because
because you learn from organizers.
Yeah, I always ask the organizers that are on the show, you know, what did you do? How did you do it? How many people showed up? What was the response like? What was all of that stuff? Because a lot of the time you have no clue what's actually put into making those word camps happen. Yeah.
It helps with empathy. If you're an attendee, maybe you should watch that.
Totally.
Especially if you're considering being part of, you know, volunteering and stuff. And also, and I talked to somebody else that said the same thing, and I found this to be true. Volunteering really helps you feel more connected. If you're a little shy, the volunteering gives you a purpose. So it makes it easier to talk to people because you know you're supposed to, and they look to you. So if you feel like you want to get to know people, but you're not really sure, the volunteering is definitely, I recommend volunteering. Because I know that I never would have, but Alex Vasquez asked me to do it last year. And so I said, okay, I'll do it for you. And I never asked to be a volunteer, but the volunteering has way, I would backspace if I was writing. It definitely increased my enjoyment of word camp because I did feel part of it. Because I'm so terrible at just walking up to people. So I think the bottom line for me and this show is like experiencing other than an attendee. If you want to level up your experience and be more connected to the community, I would say definitely volunteer.
Yep. Most definitely. Yep.
We could stop 6 minutes early.
We could totally stop 6 minutes early.
I could tell when you're done talking.
I'm done. I'm done for the day.
You're done.
Netflix is sitting there waiting for me to hit play.
Yep.
I got a half day of work tomorrow.
Woohoo!
Yup. Got to drive all the way down past your house, all the way to San Diego. It's literally like right next to the border. Like it is like 2 exits from the border. So I'm driving all the way down there.
Imperial Beach.
Yeah.
Does that take you 4 hours?
No. Well, I mean,
maybe traffic.
Maybe traffic, yeah. We're definitely gonna be running some drugs across the border real quick.
Oh my God! Don't say that.
That's what she said.
No, he said you're watching Netflix. Are you gonna watch Narcos?
No, I can't. I can't read Spanish that fast.
Is there subtitles on that?
The entire thing
No,
subtitled.
I can't deal
Yeah.
with that.
I
I
mean,
can get subtitles for the hard of hearing. I don't want them in another language.
I'll watch anime that's in Japanese because I know I can't understand any of it.
Oh my
But in Spanish, I'm listening to it. I'm just like I'm trying to decipher the words that I know.
Muchas
know?
gracias, todos
Right?
personas.
Well, just like earlier, there was a guy watching the show on here who was speaking in
Portuguese.
Portuguese, and so I was translating into Portuguese real quick using Google Translate.
Good job. And with that, we'll say bienvenidos.
Yep, that's it. That's it, folks. Go over to the
Envios
website.
sekundio.
Go over to the website at BridgetWillard.com. Click on all the links that she has going on over there. Go over to www.jasontucker.us.
US.
Go check that out. And if you go over to WPWaterCore.com, you can check out all the stuff that we got going over there. We have a couple shows. You can go click on the little shows link on the top. Check out all the shows that are on there. One of them, in which is this one right now that we're watching right here, which is WP Blab. We do a lot of fun stuff every Thursday at 8:30 Pacific. If
What?
you're awake, you're an East
7:30
Coaster,
Pacific.
or 7:30 Pacific.
'You're tired.
7:30 Pacific. So go over to our website, check out all that stuff. If you're watching this on YouTube, if you're watching this right now on YouTube, hit the little thumbs up button. We would really appreciate it. At some point here, this will become a podcast. It hasn't happened yet. I've had many requests for it to be an audio podcast. I don't know who in their right mind would want to listen to an hour and 45 minutes or whatever of stuff. But that's what we're going to do. So that's it, folks. Talk to you later. See you later.
Bye.